everyone, welcome back to Kevin Reviews. I just finished watching Duel. This is a 1971 film, originally a television film, directed by Steven Spielberg, and everyone pretty much knows Steven Spielberg. You know, E.T., Jaws, Saving Private Ryan, Jurassic Park, many great movies that a lot of us grew up with. Um, but yeah, this is his directorial debut, and technically this was made as a TV movie and eventually later it became a cinematic release. Though I don't know if it's technically went to a wide audience. I think it only went to Europe because there was addition to the scenes. But in any case, this is from 1971 by Universal Television. This is directed by Steven Spielberg and written by Richard Matheson. Um, this is the cast mainly includes Dennis Weaver, but there's also, and I'm going to look here, Jacqueline Scott, Eddie Firestone, Lou Frizzell, and Gene Dzinski. But yes, this is technically Dennis Weaver film because it centers more on him. But before I get into that, I have never seen this before. I mean, I just recently watched it, but before that, I've never seen it before. I have seen and heard about it like in other videos or pop culture, kind of references. I think there was like one reference, like it's not really like an important reference, but I think the one that stands out to me was the in a Whose Line Anyway episode. Colin Mock, they're doing a themed restaurant where they're doing Spielberg movies, and Colin Mockery uh, just kind of acts like he drives by, rolls down the window, and just says "Duel," and it's like Duel. I never heard of Duel. Then this is a Steven Spielberg movie, so I never seen it. I haven't. And it's that was many years ago, like in the 2000s. So I'm just getting into this time. But yeah, this was originally made for as a TV movie, and Universal eventually called Steven Spielberg to come back and add some more scenes to make a more cinematic release. Um, I am familiar with one movie I saw years ago, and I can't really talk about it because I don't remember a ton about it. But it's a 2001 film Joyride that stars Paul Walker and Steve Zahn, who anger a truck driver, and now the truck driver is trying to run them down or kill them. At a pit of rage. But like again, I don't know a ton about it regardless. But yeah, I was I'm excited. I was excited to give this a shot. I wasn't sure if I would be as it was going to be a tense movie to because this is a 1971, and I mean I've seen plenty of type of thriller style movies. I mean even Jaws and whatnot. But still, is it is it worth a watch? Is it worth a try of one of Steven Spielberg's first films? Well, here's my review of 1971's Duel. So the story goes is David Mann is on his way to some event with Forbes. It's a magazine publishing company. Um, I don't know. We don't know exactly what the reason is for, but he's on his way. He's driving through the Southern California desert just to get there, and he happens to be behind this truck, this big rig truck that's carrying flammable stuff. And he tries to get past the truck. It's legal. He was doing it legally, but he was, with all the smoke and whatnot he was breathing in, he wanted to pass. But then the truck started trying to pass him, and then it becomes road rage from hell basically. So now David Mann, and for some reason, while David Mann wants to just move on and get to his where he's going, this truck is relentless going after him to basically just kill the guy if he can, or just continue playing games with him because this is. I have to admit this is a very tense movie. I'm going to say that right out the bat. I think it is very good. I think it is a very tense movie. Um, Even from the opening, when we don't even have the truck, we just see from David Mann's perspective, but this is like a camera below the car that's like 6 inches off the ground or something like that. And you just see him running, driving through, the roads, even point to tailgating. Other people, there's other people walking across, and it's like, could be speeding, he could be, almost hitting the people, but it's, I don't know, it's for some reason that's chilling enough, and it almost reminds me, it's like watching Final Destination 2, because if you've seen Final Destination 2, um, it may not be the best comparison, but everyone remembers the highway scene involving the logs, and everyone was scared about, logs falling off. But I think in general, the highway is the most scariest and dangerous place to be in, because there's so much that could happen, and even for a southern desert, stuff could still happen. This truck is insanely scary, and the look kind of reminds me, well, I'm sure it inspired later films, because I will say I think this truck it looks terrifying, it looks rusty, it looks like a monster. And that was one idea that Steven Spielberg did, was try to make this more like a Toho movie, or a monster movie, kind of similar to Godzilla. And he does it well with the well, and like this truck looks like it has a face. It's very rustic looking, like an old monster. It's been driving the roads for quite a long time. We don't ever know who drives the truck, and why you just keep relentlessly going after um, the this particular guy. And even he has moments that is kind of, it's kind of strange, but it's, in a way, it kind of works. I don't know. I don't want to give it away, because it's interesting. But in a way, the truck driver almost has like some sort of moral compass, but not entirely. There are some moments that he kind of shows that. But yeah, there's a lot of great use of the camera work. I think even Steven Spielberg borrowed a camera that was used from Steve McQueen's Bullet, which I've never seen, to make it look like the truck was going faster than it originally was. Um, because the truck only went for around 30 miles per hour, but the way this is set up makes it looks like an illusion that the truck is going faster. So it did its job as well. Um, as for Dennis Weaver, I think he does a great job. I mean, we don't know a ton about his character. He seems like an average and ordinary guy. There is a thing where he does narrate himself a bit, or at least he thinks internally, and we hear what he's thinking. Because and we see it, like, moments where he's under duress, whether through close-ups or wide shots. Like, man, this guy is, being tortured by this truck driver. So sorry. And it's quite it is quite, you know intimidating. The truck is very intimidating. Um, at times, of their narration almost doesn't feel needed, I would say, because the less is more type thing. I think in a way it could have gone without it overall. As for other characters, they just kind of come and go. But there are moments where it does, like, focus on. There's like one scene in the diner where David Mann is trying to figure out who the truck driver is when he stops in this restaurant, because he sees the truck outside, but the driver's not there. He's trying to figure out who this truck driver is, and there's subtle hints and clues that it could be, but it's not entirely clear, what who the truck driver is. The truck driver is very intimidating when he's not even on the screen, because he's like a phantom in a way. And the truck is the monster entirely. It's not the driver. So that I at least like. It also reminds me of, which I'm sure this film is inspired by, Duel, is the movie Jeepers Creepers, where this this only happens in the opening, but you see Justin Long and the actress, I can't place her at the moment. They're just kind of driving on the highway, and behind them, they don't even notice is this truck that was just kind of speeding past it, whatever, and that was driven by the monster of the film. So that's that I think is inspired. I will also say some interesting facts that this was Richard Matheson who wrote this. Was inspired by something that really happened to him. Happened to him when a tailgate where a truck driver tailgated him. Um, you got and with that it's always scary to be on the road. And the funny thing is that the same time this happened was also around the time I think JFK was. I'm not going to say the word, but if you know what happened to JFK, there it is. Um, it also kind of reminded me of. I almost think it almost takes inspiration the way the truck, the truck and the car just kind of approaches things and make things really scary from up close from that illusion that Steven Spielberg used with the camera is kind of reminiscent of the Lumiere brothers, the uh, almost the pioneer of filmmaking, where they did like short films, a documentary. But the one of their famous ones is the arrival of the train, where this is just simply a train pulling in the station. Nowadays, we don't think much about it, but when the film was being, conceptualized and trying to be brought to an audience, the audience freaked out and, were kind of running, kind of scared that they thought the train was for real. And it's a great optical kind of illusion to do that. It shows the power of film that can through, and influence emotion. And I admit it is a very tense movie um, to witness. I kept hoping that this, David Mann tries to find a way out, um, you know, in a way. And there are some, unfortunately, I think there was some part where, like later in the ending, where, uh, it doesn't quite go out as big as a bang, but it's still pretty good. There's I don't know. I kind of wish there was a more satisfying ending. We don't quite get that. We don't see him like, make it to his where he needs to go. We don't see him like go back to his family. It kind of goes a different direction. But yeah, gotta pause. So yeah, it does do that. I kind of maybe wish there was a little bit more characters involved. Um, but maybe that's just it helps to make it look like he's very isolated, like he's all by himself. He has it, and that's pretty much the title, Duel. This is usually by against two people against each other, and it makes sense. I think this is a really effective movie. I don't know if anybody would consider it as great as his later films, which is perfectly fine, but I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I think this is, a great film, and especially one for Steven Spielberg, who really, took it upon himself. And he only shot this in 12 days, so it is impressive how quickly he can get a lot of his films out. So yeah, there's a lot to like. Again, the cinematography, the environment, the atmosphere, the tension, the music. The music is also the score of the film is also really good. Um, like I said, if there are issues, I said I kind of wish there was less of the internal monologuing or talking to himself, and just kind of do the still show show don't tell kind of thing. And I wish there was a tad bit of a more satisfying ending because we don't know after events. But we don't know exactly what happens after the events. It's just kind of done. It kind of stops suddenly. Um, Maybe a little bit more character would have been fine for other, or maybe some more development with the David Mann as the actor. But I think this is just a straight up, thriller movie, and that's all. And if you like thrillers, you're gonna have fun with this. It's kind of at a point where you don't need to think. You just kind of enjoy and get the feeling being put into David Mann's shoes about why he, you know, hit this someone in extreme road rage or something else entirely. I think it's even hinted at this guy could be a serial killer. Um, Hinted at, and I won't say it here because, but yeah, I think this is definitely one you should check out if you get a chance. So, with that said, I think I'm gonna give Duel. Um, I know I praise it quite a bit, but I don't think it's quite as watchable as some of the later films. So I think in a way I'm gonna give this 4 stars. Um, yeah, I think it's a great thriller of a movie. It's not meant to make you think. It's just something to just simply enjoy. So, um, what are your thoughts on Duel? Have you seen Duel? Leave in the comments below. Leave a like or dislike the review if you wish. Feel free to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you'll be updated on any more reviews. And I will see you guys later in the next review. Bye.